Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well today, and today we're going to be working on the color wheel challenge. I know I'm a bit late, but this was very popular on Twitter when I was making it. I've already posted it to Twitter, so I don't know if you follow me, but if you haven't followed me, my Twitter is at PookyCreations. I'm at PookyCreations everywhere. So the first character that I decided to do, which I decided to do requested characters. So for pink, we have Tymea. Tymea is a pun on the herb thyme because Tymea is the spirit of the forest, and she is basically the leader of the Fae Empire in a story that my partner and I are writing. She is made of a cherry tree, so I was trying to embrace the tree-ish parts of her and make her angular, because cherry trees are fairly like spindly and twisty and made of sharp shapes. So I'm using a lot of references here, but I did have artistic liberty in the process. But she is very pink. Unfortunately, the file with the coloring of her is lost, but you will see how it came out in the final picture. Right now, we're just doing inking. I did inking in 2 stages. I did all of the outlines first. Oh yeah, here it is. I was going to make her like really angular and janky, but then I decided against it because it just looked like crumbly cheese, and it didn't give the same aesthetic I was going for. So while she does have some round features, she has more like angular detail later on. Now, I had never designed her before, so this was my first time drawing her. I had to figure out some things that I wanted, like she has some gemstones in her to denote her status, and she's one of the oldest creatures in the forest, so I wanted to reflect that in how many lines I gave her in her face. Now, I wanted to make the gemstones stick out a lot because I knew this was going to be very pinky, very red. So I gave her some teal gemstones. And I think it really worked out because it balanced out all the pink, just to give a little accent color. Now, if you don't know what an accent color is, it's where you're creating an art piece, and the art piece is like majority a certain color. So like for this one, it's pinks and pinky browns, but I needed another color that would stick out, and that would be the accent color. It needed to be different enough that it was contrasting. This was all during a live stream, so pardon all the pop-ups. I was talking while I was doing this, and I needed some examples. But I really wanted to add all of the angular stuff in the details, and I think I accomplished that very well. Now, things I would do differently. If I were doing this again, I would give her hair more detail, because while it did come out fairly detailed, it doesn't exactly look like cherry blossoms. It looks like a glow cloud. All hail the glow cloud. If you know, you know. But it looks nice, and I'm really happy with it. I'm probably going to draw her again in the future. That's very flashy. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to put a flashing warning on this one too. I've got to be more conscious of what I don't cut out of these videos. Because some things that I do that have animations just turn into a flashing mess when they're sped up. So like, the cat is fine. The cat is fine. But I had a GIF on a previous video of a dancing cat. And when it's normal, that's fine. But when it's sped up, oh, good lord. Oh, and here is the next one. The next one I did was Oliver from Oliver and Company. He is orange, and I made him the orange part. And he came really, really naturally to me because I find drawing Disney style very, very easy. It's partly because that is how I learned to draw in the first place, is by copying Disney movies. At first it was just The Lion King, but then afterward it was all sorts of Disney movies. I learned how to draw dogs from 101 Dalmatians, I think. Now Oliver has very particular markings, and I wanted to get them correct. So if you see me taking away the main orange color, it's because I couldn't tell the difference in color between the main orange and the other orange well enough to make it stand out. Moving on to red, we have Zagreus. This is the second time I've ever drawn him, and I think this one actually came out really well. I had to get a reference for his hair because I couldn't understand how his hair laid. But it turned out alright. I was really, really upset that I had to erase his body because I did really well on the muscle groups. But he is a modest boy and only shows one nipple, so we had to work with it. I found him really, really fun, though. I want to draw Megara as well at one point, because I absolutely love her. And the last time that I played Hades on stream, we beat her. So I need to draw her as, like, a celebration of sorts. But yeah, what we found out in the last video is that according to all of his references, Zagreus wears either eyeshadow or eyeliner, because he has a wing. It's very funny. He is the goth baby. But his muscles were also very fun. I stylized his hands a bit to be more, action posy, I suppose. And I had a lot of fun with these skulls, because skulls are something that I find fascinating. So, like, getting the actual bones in place that would be there rather than the stylized ones was very fun. And, like, working on the folds of the clothing, which is something I still need to work on because I'm not an expert at yet. You are almost never an expert. I forgot that was in there. If you haven't seen that commercial or PSA, it is hilarious. I should link it in the description. If I don't, someone like poke me, and I will. But yeah, Zagreus is always fun. Getting to draw both of his eyes this time was great. Because last time I only got to draw the green one, and I wanted to draw the red one very, very badly, but it didn't fit in the piece, so here's a quick overview of how I do my eyes. Very quick. Now, I think what I liked the most about this was the shading. We're not there yet, but I wanted to boast a little bit. Because the shading came out very well, because I tried something new. I tried using more than one color to shade various depths. So if you... I think I'm about to shade. Yeah, if you notice, I'm shading with pink first. And then I take a deeper bluish purple into the darker spots. And it looks fantastic. I don't know why I didn't do it before. But I have regrets of not doing it before. Oh, blue was one of my favorites. I love Cookie Monster. And I like how this one came out because I really, really went into the fur texture. Like when you see how grinchy he gets, it's great. Like, look at that posh hand. It's fantastic. Just, delightful. But I really, really wanted to make him, like, fluffy. And it worked out really well. Because the way that I shaded and highlighted him, it gave more dimension than I normally do. Yeah, I stole some shading from Zagreus. But I really went for like a fur texture. Had to change the shading color because using blue on brown does not work with food. Kuropi was one of the simpler ones because he wasn't shaded and I didn't want to shade him. But I have never really drawn too many Hello Kitty characters. Kuropi, I don't remember how they said it, it's said, but it was very cute. I will give it that. Just hanging out with ice cream cone. Little frog. But, yeah, he was very simple, but he was also an interesting one. Because I did want to give him, like, some variance. But, oh god. Barney. So, that was a hard wedge to figure out how to put him in there. So I decided to make him sultry. Kind of a bad idea with a childhood favorite. I never liked Barney, so this kind of freaks me out a little bit. But I did it. I can't blame anybody else. So if I traumatize you, I apologize. And then we only had 2 left. This is my OC of sorts. Yeah, it's an OC. It's someone that I write with. Their name is Vaughn, and I used Halsey as a face reference because I really like Halsey. And so I stole her face. Her personality is entirely different, but I stole her face. So I've never drawn Vaughn before, and I wanted to get it right, so I used a really good reference of her face and went off of what I know about Vaughn. Vaughn is fairly free-spirited, but has a tendency to cry. She is also a mother to 3 very beautiful children. She has worked with the public for her entire life as a, not a delegate, but like a community service person. Someone that works with veterans and children and, like, people that need help. She's very, very close to me because I've been writing her story for 5 years. Yeah, her and her wife Mariana are very, very dear to me. And she's got like these really hazily green eyes, and I really wanted to make sure that they came out correctly. In any case, Vaughn here was fairly easy to draw actually once I got the face down. I think that the shading for this came out really nicely, especially on the sweater. It's quite nice. And as always, I use yellow as the highlight. I think it works really well. I did the double color shading on this one as well, because I really liked how it came out. And last but not least is Jolteon. This was probably the only one that I did a full body of before cutting it down, because I really wanted to get a certain pose. And I think it is better for it, because when I did cut it down, it didn't look weird. Because it was already, pretty. It was already accurate. But Jolteon is one of my friend's favorite Pokemon, so I was very happy to draw this for him. Partially because I love all the evolutions, partially because I like to make him happy. So, shout out to Lou. I always struggle with Jolteon's mane because I can't figure out how it's supposed to sit, but I tried my best and I think it came out nice. So, wee ball. Now I did make one mistake on Jolteon, and that is trying to shade yellow with orange. It works, but it kind of makes him look like Simba, and that's not great. I kind of regret it, but that's okay. In any case, the color wheel is done, and if you want to see it, I will post the link to Twitter down below. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.